The CEO woke up before dawn as she did every day. Her life followed discipline, structure, and pressure. She ran a powerful company, managed hundreds of employees, and made decisions that moved millions, but none of that mattered in the quiet moments of early morning. She walked into her daughter's room slowly. The little girl lay awake staring at the ceiling. Her eyes were gentle, curious, and full of unspoken thoughts. The child had never spoken, not once, no cries, a baby, no first word, no sound. Doctors had explanations. Some said selective mutism, some said emotional blockage, some said give it time. Past nothing changed. The CEO tried everything, the best hospitals, the most expensive specialists, private therapists, alternative treatments. She never complained, never showed weakness, but at night she cried alone. She blamed herself, her busy life, her long hours, her ambition. She wondered if her absence caused the silence. That morning she brushed her daughter's hair carefully. The girl smiled softly. That smile kept her alive. They ate breakfast together. The CEO talked. The girl listened. After breakfast, she decided to take her daughter to the playground. She had canceled all meetings. For once the world could wait. The playground was alive with sound, children laughing, parents calling names, swings creaking. The CEO sat on a bench holding her daughter's hand. The girl watched everything. She always did. She observed the children, the slide, the sandbox, the birds. The CEO watched her instead of checking her phone. This was the only place where success felt meaningless. After some time, a man arrived with his son. The boy ran ahead full of excitement. The father followed calmly. He was a single dad. Life had carved quiet strength into his face. He nodded politely at the CEO. She nodded back. The children noticed each other. The boy waved. The girl hesitated, then waved back. The boy rolled a ball toward her. She looked at her mother. The CEO smiled encouragingly. The girl rolled the ball back. They began to play. No words, just movement. The CEO felt hope rise carefully. She had learned not to expect miracles. The father watched silently. He did not rush. He did not interfere. Time passed gently. Then the boy fell. He scraped his knee. He cried loudly. The CEO stood up in panic, but the father reached his son first. He lifted him carefully. He spoke softly. His voice carried calm. The boy slowly stopped crying. The girl watched closely. Her eyes locked. On the moment something moved inside her, something unfamiliar. She stepped closer. The CEO felt her heart pound. The girl looked at the boy's knee. Then his face. Silence filled the air. Then it happened. A small, clear voice spoke. Are you okay? The world stopped. The CEO froze. Her breath disappeared. The father looked up, stunned. The boy nodded, smiling. The girl smiled. She turned to her mother. Mom, he is okay. The CEO fell to her knees. Tears streamed uncontrollably. Years of silence shattered. She held her daughter tightly, afraid the moment might disappear. The girl spoke again softly. He can still play. The boy laughed and ran. The CEO sat on the ground shaking. The father stepped back respectfully. The girl continued to speak small words as she played. Each word was a miracle. The CEO memorized every sound, every breath. The sun began to set. When it was time to leave, the girl said bye. As they walked home, the girl squeezed her mother's hand. Mom, I liked the playground that night. The CEO did not think about work. She listened to her daughter breathe, and for the first time in years, the silence was gone. The days after that moment at the playground changed the rhythm of the CEO's life. She no longer woke up with the same heavy fear. Instead, she woke with careful hope, afraid to expect too much, afraid to lose the miracle she had just witnessed. Every morning, she sat beside her daughter and waited. She did not ask questions. She did not demand words. She remembered the patience of the single dad. How silence had been allowed to breathe. Sometimes the girl spoke, sometimes she did not, but the CEO learned not to panic. At breakfast, the girl would whisper small sounds, sometimes just hum, sometimes form words halfway. The CEO smiled at every attempt. She stopped correcting, stopped finishing sentences. She let her daughter lead at work. People noticed changes. The powerful CEO who once stayed late every night now left early. She declined meetings. She delegated decisions. Some questioned her commitment. She did not explain her real work had shifted. Each afternoon they went to the playground. Same bench, same swing, same open space. The girl seemed calmer there. Her voice came easier, as if the air itself helped. The single dad and his son became part of their routine. They arrived most days, not always at the same time, but often enough. The children played, sometimes talking, sometimes Silent both felt natural now. The CEO and the father spoke more slow. Conversations, shared smiles, no pressure. He never asked about the silence. He never asked about progress. He understood healing did not like being measured one. Afternoon, the girl asked a question that froze the CEO. Mo, why was I quiet before? The CEO felt her chest tighten. She chose her words carefully. Sometimes hearts speak louder than mouths, and yours needed time. The girl nodded, thinking deeply. I was scared, she said softly. The CEO held her hand. Of what? Baby, of noise, of people, of being wrong. The CEO swallowed tears. She saw her own reflection. Years of pressure, years of perfection. She had unknowingly built a loud world around a quiet soul. From that day she changed. More at home, the TV stayed off, phones stayed away, silence was respected. Girl started telling small stories about birds, about dreams, about feelings. Each story felt like a door opening, but healing was not straight. From days the girl shut down again. School visits overwhelmed her. New faces scared her. The CEO learned to pause, to sit beside her, to say nothing. She stopped rushing to fix one. Evening, the girl refused to speak at all. Her eyes distant, her shoulders tense. Hold fear rushed back, but the CEO stayed calm. She held her daughter, rocked her gently. You don't have to talk. I'm here. Hours later, the girl whispered, stay. The CEO smiled. Always. The next morning, words returned stronger. At the playground, the single dad noticed too progress and retreat like waves. He shared his own past. After his wife died, his son stopped talking for months. He tried everything, nothing worked, until one day he stopped trying and just stayed. The CEO listened. Understanding deepened. Pain teaches patience. Weeks turned into months. The girl began speaking freely at the playground, then at home, then with familiar people, but strangers still scared her. The CEO did not push school immediately. She waited. She hired a gentle teacher, someone calm, someone kind. Lessons happened slowly, sometimes without words, sometimes with laughter. The girl began reading aloud quietly, her voice shaky but proud. The CEO clapped softly every time. At work, the CEO restructured her company. She created flexible schedules, quiet rooms, mental health support. People were surprised, but productivity did not drop. It rose. Kindness created strength. One afternoon, the girl ran across the playground, calling mom. Looked. The CEO froze. She heard her name called clearly across space. She stood up, laughing and crying. The single dad smiled. Another victory. Time continued. The girl finally started school. The first day she was silent. She clung to her mother. The CEO knelt. You don't have to talk, just breathe. The girl nodded. By the third day she answered roll call. By the fifth day she made a friend at home. She shared stories, funny ones, sad ones. Her voice grew confident. One night she asked mom, do you like my voice? The CEO held her face gently. It's my favorite sound in the world. The girl smiled, then whispered, I like it. 2 years passed. The playground remained their sacred place. They visited even when life became busy again. The single dad remained a quiet, constant, not a hero, not a savior, just someone who understood silence. One evening as the sun set, the girl asked mom, will I ever stop being scared? The CEO thought carefully, maybe not completely, but you will learn how to walk with it. The girl nodded, satisfied. On her first school stage performance, the girl stood tall. She spoke clearly. Her voice filled the room. The CEO cried openly. She remembered the quiet child, the endless nights, the fear after the performance. The girl ran into her arms. I wasn't scared. The CEO hugged her tightly. I know. As they left the school, the girl waved at the single dad and his son. They had come to watch. Thank youth, girl said clearly. He smiled. You did it. That night the CEO lay awake listening to her daughter breathe, thinking about silence, about voices. She realized something simple. Some voices are not lost. They are waiting for safety, waiting for patience, waiting for love, and when they arrive, they change everything.